Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching. It would mean the world to us if you could just scroll down, like, hit the subscribe button for the Snaps YouTube channel. It goes a long way towards helping us out. Now, let's dive into some college football. Of course, Chip Kelly left UCLA, which opened up that head job. Deshaun Foster, former UCLA running back, gets hired, and it's purely from a CEO standpoint, right? This is not a guy who's been a coordinator, not a guy who necessarily has any big time offensive or defensive like theory prowess to fall back on. So if you're going to be the CEO, what do you got to do? You got to handle a great X's and O's guys. Well, how about it? UCLA hires Eric Bieniemy to become the offensive coordinator, 2-year deal for Bieniemy to be the OC. And one thing that's very interesting here to me is if you listen to any of the reporting coming out of Washington last year, he seemed to be rubbing NFL players the wrong way, which is surprising given how long he's been there. Yeah. But like Rivera and some of the players were basically coming out and saying that his like style of coaching was a little, reading between the lines, I felt like they were saying it was like a little harsh, maybe a little domineering.
Which I don't get, because I was with Bieniemy for 3 years in Kansas City, and he was one of the best guys to be around. Everyone loved him.
I don't know.
Loved him, so I don't know.
Maybe I'm reading the situation wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe, but those quotes were out there, not necessarily talking about his harshness, but just about him not connecting with the players and his leadership style. Well, if you want to be like a fuck you, listen to me dictator, college football is the place for you. You know, and so if Eric Bieniemy wants people who are going to have to listen to him no matter what he says, my way or the highway, like college football is the place for you. So now if you're UCLA, you got your former UCLA great, your head fundraiser, your CEO, your politician, cheerleader in Deshaun Foster. And now you've got Bieniemy, one of the best X's and O's minds in all of football on the offensive side of the ball. I think that's pretty damn strong. Not to mention he's got a ton of Southern Cal ties. That's where he went to high school. He started his career in Southern California. He was the UCLA assistant back in the day, so he's very familiar with the area. I think this is a big-time get for the Bruins.
I think it's a great get. I think UCLA is a sinking ship. I'm just gonna be honest. I think it's a sinking ship. I think this is a program right now that could have a significant fall in this transition to the Big Ten. I don't think they're ready. And if you go in there and shit the bed in year one with all the change that's going on, they're not prepared.
They play a pretty tough style of football, dude.
I know they do, but
a couple of years ago under Kelly, they did at least.
With where college football is heading, and with all the negativity around the brand of UCLA, lack of involvement with the fan base, people not showing up to the game, lack of NIL dollars, and you're hoping that the new coaching staff can maybe figure that out. But recruits hear that. Like there is now the discussion out there. Kids know, where can I go play and where can I get paid? There's the knowledge now out there that UCLA doesn't have the funds. It's not good when you're about to go into the Big Ten, when you're going against schools like Ohio State that just raised $13 to $15 million to put together a roster. I don't think they are equipped right now to move on to this conference. I think they're going to be in big trouble next season.
And I would say, I mean, that's why you hired Deshaun Foster, right? To be that fundraiser cheerleader. But I feel you, right? Can he do that? I don't know.
When have they ever had fans in the stands? When
have
they ever had buy-in?
Well, when Foster was there,
solve that.
When Foster was there, he was actually referencing that when he was hired. He's like, yeah, we used to pack this place out. Like I've seen what it can be like.
For the Rose Bowl?
That's what Deshaun Foster said, dude.
With the Rose Bowl?
But here's, I think, the biggest problem he's going to have is if I'm a UCLA booster, you probably just give money to basketball first, right? Yeah. And then football's dealing with the runoff. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, people like football more in track and field.
I feel it's like Olympic.
But I'm saying no, I know, but still, what I'm saying is like basketball though is king at UCLA, always has been king, and so like at Kentucky, football's always going to be fighting for the overflow. And how much of that overflow can Foster gather? One interesting that Bieniemy said is that he said he was not fired from Washington. Rather, he said he chose to walk away, chose not to stay. So I don't know if that does anything for you. I think it's a great hire. I think it's a big time for UCLA.
Where is UCLA for you in the Big Ten?
Okay, so obviously you got Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon up top. Probably like USC, Iowa. Who else would be in that bracket right behind in the USC Iowa bracket?
Nebraska.
I wanted to say Nebraska, but I know that's early and people are going to say
Wisconsin.
I'd put Wisconsin in that next bracket. I'd put Nebraska there as well. That's just me personally.
I mean, we're getting down to like 8, 9.
So then I think I probably want to break out another tier, and that's where we're going to get into, like Jordan in the chat says, right next to Purdue. Yeah, maybe like a UCLA, Purdue, Minnesota.
That's 6 and 6 boys.
Minnesota.
It's 6 and 6 territory. That's scratching clawing to make a bowl game.
Yeah. But it doesn't hurt having a coach like Eric Bieniemy either way. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like I don't know if it's gonna make UCLA good, but it still makes them better. And like whenever you make a hire or make a move, that is all you're really hoping for. Oh, excuse me. Penn State should have been tier 1 as well with Ohio State, Michigan, and Oregon.
They don't have a terrible schedule next year when you look at UCLA. So they started the season on the road, Hawaii, then Indiana. They got a tough 3-game stretch from there. LSU, Oregon, Penn State. 2 of those on the road versus LSU, on the road versus Penn State. That's a pretty meaty portion. So kind of like just playing the what do we think UCLA could be next year? I would think 2 and 3 versus Minnesota at home. Chance to win that game. Get the 3 and 3. At Rutgers, at Nebraska. I think you got to split those 2, if not win both of them. Let's just say they split them 4 and 4. Versus Iowa. Probably Iowa. 4 and 5 at Washington. That's a toss up. We'll see. I'll give them that 5 and 5. Then USC and Fresno State to finish the season off. Like it's a pretty
probably
light schedule.
6. Yeah, it feels like
6 and 6, maybe 7 and 5.
Which I don't know if that'd be an awful year 1 in the Big Ten. I feel like that might be like pretty respectable for Deshaun Foster to build on. CJ says UCLA won't be able to keep recruits even if they scout and develop well. USC can come in and poach. Maybe so. We'll see where I actually, to be quite honest, I think UCLA is in trouble joining the Big Ten, like you were getting at, Aaron, probably. No matter who's in charge and no matter what they do, right? I just don't understand how you get it cranked up at a place where you're going against so many schools that have so much more emotional buy-in than your fan base. And as we know in this age, well, that's what I was going to say. They are, one begets the other now in college football. If you have emotional buy-in, that becomes economic buy-in.
Yes. In one offseason, you lost your defensive coordinator to your biggest rival. Your DC left to go to USC, and your head coach left to be an offensive coordinator. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about UCLA right there, you're blind.